When a team from the Football League takes on a club from the top 6 of the Premiership, it's usually called David against Goliath. But tonight, it's difficult to know which one is which. If this tie had been played just a couple of years ago, there's no question that Wigan would have been the underdogs. They were ambling along in the lower divisions, while Leeds were challenging for the Premiership title and doing the business in Europe. But how quickly times have changed. It's now Wigan enjoying life at the top level and just one game away from their first major cup final. Leeds are playing their first home game of the new year, the first time they've played a Premiership team here since they were relegated, and the first anniversary of Ken Bates becoming chairman at Elland Road. Just 4 years ago this month, Leeds were top of the Premiership, with stars like Ferdinand, Woodgate, Kewell, Robinson, Smith and Viduka. Their present-day lineup is a more modest collection of players, but there's still enough talent here to give Wigan an uncomfortable night. 7 of them are full internationals. Liam Miller is on loan from Manchester United. Jonathan Douglas has been borrowed from Blackburn. Gary Kelly is the only survivor of better days here at Elland Road. Wigan literally had trouble naming 16 players tonight. This is their 8th game in just over 3 weeks, and they've been hit hard by injuries, suspensions and international call-ups. Lee McCulloch and David Connolly both failed fitness tests earlier today to join Stefan Onshaw, who's suspended, on the sidelines. Jimmy Bullard is named on the bench, even though he's injured, and Wigan's other 2 outfield subs are both youngsters who've never kicked a ball in the first team.
You know exactly what Kevin Blackwell will have been saying to his players just before they come out. If they are feeling sorry for themselves, if they are a little bit tired, we have to start very, very quickly. Also, we can't concede. Butler at the back, experience, talking to Kilgallen alongside him, who is improving every time you see him. In midfield, this is where they can get at Wigan, because they've got youth, vitality, and Walton can put his foot in that centre park. Up front, Hulse, Healy and Lewis could all play at a higher level. Healy and Hulse have scored against teams at a higher level, no problem. Oh, Paul Jewell, as he said, walking wounded, put him out tonight, but no excuses. They're out there to do a job. You look at the back 5, it's not a problem. That could be his back 5 on any given day in the Premiership, so there's not a worry. In midfield, there's only Skoko, who doesn't normally play week in, week out. Francis will get forward and try and score goals at every opportunity. Kavanagh will sit as much as he can, and Teal will wander down that right-hand side. It's just up front where they're a little bit short. Johansson is a midfield player, but Roberts on his own, he's played up there at times, he will again tonight, be up there on his own with Johansson just dropping off him.
Well, the fake shake has made it an awkward week for the England manager, but David Healy inflicted greater embarrassment on him back in September. The Leeds striker is the man who scored the winning goal when Northern Ireland beat England in Belfast. Wigan have been warned. Rob Hulse, alongside whom he will play in the Leeds attack tonight, is the subject of our first player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Graham Paul, the referee. Remember, we must have a winner tonight. Extra time and penalties are scheduled if required. Well, before this season, the only time that Leeds and Wigan had ever met in the FA Cup was 19 years ago, and Wigan, would you believe, haven't managed to get beyond the 3rd round stage since then. Wigan Athletic in their change strip tonight of yellow and black get us underway. Kavanagh with the first ball out of play, caught by Gary Kelly. Came off the head of Deseu. Jackson playing alongside him tonight, very experienced man who's played in an FA Cup final for Everton. And he'll be called upon to guide this one out of play.
And that's the only problem with their system, Leeds. Hulse up front on his own, more or less. People call it a 4-3-3. Lewis has got to join in from that left-hand side, Healy from the right-hand side. But when you are up there on your own and you've got a full-back running towards you, he's not expected to be running down the channels, Hulse. He's the one who should just be playing the width of that 18-yard box and allow that ball to come into his feet, hold it up and wait for people to arrive.
Francis with the flick on, Roberts in behind him. The referee saw an infringement, free kick to Wigan. They've survived the third round only 3 times in their entire history. The quarter-final of 1987, the furthest Wigan have ever reached. And it was Leeds who knocked them out, as I mentioned. Ball wouldn't sit down quickly enough for Skoko. Kavanagh. And this should go all the way back to the goalkeeper, and has. John Filan playing tonight, the Aussie who played in the first tie and played both the league matches against Leeds United last season. Wigan won both of those, by the way. Good start here by this much-changed Wigan outfit. Kavanagh playing it out wide to Teal. Acceleration got him into a good position, and the cross deflected behind for the game's first corner.
Yeah, they've taken the initiative away from Leeds United. It's only a couple of minutes gone. Paul Jewell would also have been saying to his players, they're going to try and start quickly. Let's show them what we've got to begin with.
Kavanagh with a corner. Deseo, an obvious threat, though he's never actually scored in this competition in his long career in English football.
Good defending that by Jonathan Douglas. Jason Roberts is the player he's having to look after in that situation, and he did well.
Short to Teal this time. Didn't really catch it properly, but it was still a dangerous enough ball. And Leeds have made a very nervy opening here. Jackson. Roberts holding off the challenge. Skoko. Francis needs some support here. Happy to win the throw. And the linesman spotted an infringement. Offside, I think.
Well, they just fall asleep on the corner. Leeds United, everybody's picking up, but nobody's marking the spare people around. Teal gets himself in a good position. The ball bobs across. Could have went to anybody, but Douglas there once again just picking up the pieces as it comes to him.
Leeds trailed 1-0 at the JJB 10 days ago, but then went on to become the first team this season not to lose against Wigan after going a goal behind when Hulse got their equaliser 2 minutes from time. Roberts making room for himself here, and strong enough to keep his balance. Skoko arrives. Kavanagh beaten in the challenge, and Leeds for the first time beginning to look dangerous here. Terrific break as well. Hulse in a good position and helps it on to Healy. Just ran out of room, really. The angle too difficult in the end.
Well, he should have taken it earlier. John Filan put him off. Did really well, John Filan. But it's a fantastic run by Miller. You've got to make a decision now on the pass. Where does it go? It goes to Hulse. Look at this for an over now. Takes away Deseo out of position. And look at that. The goalkeeper does absolutely fantastic, because he should pull the trigger now. He doesn't. And the goalkeeper then spreads himself and does enough.
Header by young Simon Walton in behind Chimbonda. Good play from Eddie Lewis. American international Lewis comes from California and likely to represent his country in the World Cup. Plays left back, in fact, for the United States national team. There's Kelly. Healy. Sloppy ball that has given the advantage back to Wigan. Teal. Chimbonda. Jackson. Turned out to be a good ball. I'm not sure that's exactly what he intended, though. Too far ahead of Leighton Baines.
I'm not sure it's what Kevin Blackwell wanted, but they are allowing Wigan to come on to them, Leeds, and we saw the counter-attack there, which is what might have been in his preparations, is let's bring them on to us and let's catch them on the break. We have got a bit of pace. Certainly Miller through that middle, looked very, very sharp.
Yellow card for our cameraman, I think. We do like to get you as close to the action as possible. Turned on by Baines. Roberts judged the bounce and found Francis. On to Teal. Chimbonda. Kavanagh. Teal got away with that thanks to Jackson's interception, or did he? Hulse, he's got Healy to his right again.
That's a cool ball. Miller's reasonably quick, but he's not that quick.
Kelly leaves it to Healy. Butler. Just too long for Gary Kelly, who's nearing now his 500th game for Leeds United. This is his 15th season at Elland Road, and of course he was in the team that challenged for the Premiership title and had terrific success in Europe. Remember, in those days, Leeds reached the semi-finals of both the Champions League and the UEFA Cup, and it wasn't that long ago.
I'm not sure that this was in Paul Jewell's preparations, that the home side would sit back as deep as possible and try and catch them on the break. But they're going to have plenty of the ball. The thing is, Leeds can't concede in a situation like this.
Kavanagh finding Chimbonda. A lot of pace, the right back. Matched all the way by Lewis this time. Rainey doing well for Leeds. And again, his header clear. Francis, who's lost his place in recent weeks. Big match for him tonight. He'll want to prove a point. Johansson's header on. Roberts onto it.
Just missed his kick. We give Kilgallen the credit. It's an absolutely fantastic header on by Johansson. Just perfect for Roberts. He takes it down on his chest. Is it bouncing up and away from him? Does Kilgallen do enough? He puts his boot on the top of his knee, and maybe that just puts him off. He can't get his shot in.
Well, Wigan come here on the back of disappointing recent form. Their 1-0 home defeat against West Brom on Sunday means they've now only won 1 of their last 5 games. 3 defeats in that run. And of course, they've got a really big match against Arsenal in the second leg of their Carling Cup semi-final. It's a week tonight, in fact. Francis. There's Chimbonda. Cleared by Kavanagh to Johansson. Good pressure from Leeds. Healy. On to Hulse. Kelly. Chimbonda had to head behind. He didn't know what was going on behind him.
He was waiting for a call from his goalkeeper. Didn't get one, so I had to deal with it in that way.
The biggest team physically, Leeds United, but they do have some 6-foot-plus players like Butler and Hulse, of course. Kilgallen, the other centre-half, has also come forward. Good header away by Kavanagh. Offside when it goes back in, though. It's only the 3rd time, by the way, that Wigan have ever played Leeds in an FA Cup tie, and Paul Jewell actually played the first time they met in the quarter-final 19 years ago. Leeds won that game 2-0 at Springfield Park, Wigan's old ground. Teal, Johansson. Roberts the only player in the box, joined now by Skoko. It goes short of Francis. Teal. They're having trouble getting out of their own half, Leeds. Foul on Lewis, though, gives them a free kick.
Well, time will tell if the tactics have been good for Kevin Blackwell, but at the moment, offering a little bit too much respect to Wigan. Trying to play on their mistakes. Pick up the ball on the counter-attack. Yes, they could have scored. by doing it, but they are risking giving away a lot of possession.
Sullivan looks for Hulse. Headed away by Jackson. Skoko. Kavanagh did well. Baines. Kelly's header misplaced to Johansson. And now Roberts. Francis.
It's a bit adventurous, but you can see the amount of space and time that they do have out there, that you can try that, nobody closing you down.
Jackson doing well again against Hulse. And then Walton tried to close it down. I think he might have used his hand. Just 18, Simon Walton, and a player said to have interested Liverpool amongst others. Dezea's free kick, aimed at Roberts. It's Walton who got there first. Francis. Lewis, good control by the American international. Easy header for Douglas. Chimbonda underneath it. Now Johansson. Good first-time ball for Baines. Skoko pursuing it all the way, but too much pace on it for him.
Maybe just not got that exhilarating pace that you'd like to see, I should say. So it wasn't a bad ball in.
Hulse finding Healy. But in the end, the Northern Ireland international's control let him down.
Nice, yeah. It's good, Daisy, yeah. Thanks, Wigan.
Wigan, for all their recent problems, still in the Premiership's top six, and as I mentioned, one game away from the Carling Cup final, a 1-0 lead, of course. They take to Highbury next week. They've won half their 22 league games in their first ever season at the top level.
Well, they're comfortable at the moment.
There's Roberts again. Seeing a lot of the ball early on, but he's got to do better with it than that. Given away to Craney. Hulse. Miller. Healy. Once again, gifted back. Teal. Oh, what a splendid effort that was.
Oh, it's a brilliant strike. And Graham Kavanagh does absolutely fantastic for him. Just watch him take Stephen Craney away on the overlap. Craney just watches the runner. There he goes, he's away. That gives him the opportunity to get the strike in. Hits it absolutely brilliantly, but it's just up and over the bar. He's stretching Sullivan. He wasn't getting there, that's for sure.
Scotsman's won back his regular place in recent weeks. The Wigan squad has been stretched to the limit. And as Paul Gill mentioned in our pre-match interview, their youth team is in action in an FA Youth Cup tie against Sheffield United tonight, and that deprived the manager of the choice of more of his promising youngsters. As it is, there are two on the bench. Sullivan again looking for Hulse. Good header down this time. Kelly. And again, Walton is in support. There he is.
Well, they've got to play in the final third, Leeds. They can't keep relying on just Wigan giving the ball away, because once they get the ball in the final third, they're decent. They're not that bad, Leeds. They've got players like Healy and Hulse who create all sorts of problems. But At the moment, they're starved of possession, real decent possession.
Damien Francis of Wigan Athletic, the subject of our next player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Johansson's header, cleared by Walton. And the referee saw that as a foul on Aryan Dezeu.
It's a battle. Dezeu and Hull. Hulse in there. Makes harder for Hulse because he's up there on his own against him and Matt Jackson. Maybe Kevin Blackwell will decide at some stage to push Healy alongside him.
Aimed towards the skipper. It was a poor clearance from Craney. He could pay for that. Teal's cross, and to be fair to Craney, he made up for his error. Kavanagh finding Roberts. Good possession this from the Premiership side. Skoko for them. Baines.
The problem for Leeds is they're just going back into their positions, forgetting about the ball, forgetting about trying to make it into a cup tie and closing people down. They're just getting their back four and then a middle five across, and then hoping that they can pick something up that Wigan give away.
Here's Gary Kelly with a bit of room to manoeuvre. Skoko forced him wide, but he's won the throw for Leeds. Douglas the target. Walton also in an advanced position for Leeds this time. Hulse. Good turn. Kelly. This is Healy. Butler needs some help. Gets it from Healy. Well, there would have been an offside decision anyway against Miller in the middle.
We just know that David Healy loves to have the ball played into him inside the 18-yard box or going across the face of the 18-yard box. That's how he scores all his goals. He's having to try and create from this right-sided position, and it's not suiting him at the moment.
And Jackson has won just about every header against Hulse at the moment. Lewis, back to Miller. Kavanagh with a searching ball forward. Butler read it very well. Very experienced player, of course, Paul Butler, who was Kevin Blackwell's first signing when he took over here as manager. On by Hulse. Miller. Huge throw by Kelly. Well, don't forget, we've got a double bill of Prem Plus action for you this coming Saturday on Sky Sports. We begin at 12:30 with Everton against Arsenal. And then later in the afternoon, starting at 5, we've got West Bromwich Albion against Sunderland, both Prem Plus offerings. Andreas Johansson winning the free kick for Wigan. He came on as a substitute for the last 10 minutes on Sunday against West Brom. Kavanagh's Wanderers free kick. De Zeu chasing it and got there as well. Did really well. Good turn by Roberts. Here's Healy for Leeds United. Free kick to their great relief.
They did really well, De Zeu, to keep that ball alive. Big fan of De Zeu's. Paul Duell didn't want to lose him when he went to Portsmouth. As soon as they got to the Premiership, in a massive hurry to bring him back, and he's proved he's still capable, De Zeu.
Sullivan always looking for holes with those kicks. Healy. Awkward one for Miller, who gives up the chase. On loan from Manchester United, the Republic of Ireland international. On through to Roberts and on to Johansson. First chance of the game. Well, they got there in the end, and Wigan Athletic take the lead midway through the first half.
Well, it's been coming, and doesn't he do well? He doesn't give up on this, Johansson. Even though he's challenged for the first ball that hits the post, he's the first one to react. Just look at this, the movement, the passing, the heading. There's the header on, goes to Roberts. A lovely little ball that is, just over the top of the back line. Kilgallen does everything he possibly can. Then he's hoping of hope that Craney's going to help him out in that situation. There's the reaction. Craney doesn't react quick enough. The one man who does react is Johansson. First it's the right foot, and then it's the left foot into the bottom right-hand corner.
Well, he makes a habit of scoring in cup ties, the Swedish international. He got 2 goals in the Carling Cup against Watford earlier in the season, and now 1 in the FA Cup, still to score in the Premiership, though in fairness to him, he hasn't had too many chances in the league. Just as they did in the original tie, it's Wigan Athletic who take the lead. They had to play the last 15 minutes at the JJB with only 10 men, by the way. Ryan Taylor went off injured, and Paul Duell had already used all 3 substitutes by that stage, and it was in that period that Leeds got their equaliser.
The tactics have been brilliant to begin with. The way that Leeds have set up has made it a little bit easier for them. Maybe Blackwell might decide to change the shape that he's got, just to give them a chance to turn it into a cup tie, to try and put some pressure on Wigan, because they've hardly done anything at the moment.
Lovely skill then from Miller in the middle to find Walton. On to Healy. Kelly screaming for the ball. Healy's ignored him. Francis for Wigan, finding Teal. Damien Francis again. The goal scorer Johansson with a lovely return ball to Teal. Well, really, if he'd crossed there, Roberts was unmarked in the middle.
Well, he's caught between the two, wasn't he? He's caught between having to pop himself or try to find Roberts on this left-hand side. But look at the movement now and the passing. Pass and move at its best. Francis covered it, giving it back to Teal, but Johansson did it with the next movement, and there it is, as you said. Is it a cross? Is it a shot? He's not too sure of himself, Teal. He does the middle of the both, and that's where it ends up where it is.
Well, it could have been 2 goals in 3 minutes for Wigan, and the tie could have been, if not exactly sealed, certainly heavily in their favour. Whoever gets through tonight will face Manchester City. If it's Wigan, it could be an interesting fixture, because the 2 clubs met in the Premiership on Boxing Day, and it was a terrific match, which Wigan won by 4 goals to 3. Johansson finds Roberts. Francis. Good work by Lewis. And then Craney gives it away. He's made a very uneasy start. And Teal goes past him and wins the free kick. Experienced player, of course, Stephen Craney. He's a Scottish international that was signed last season from Southampton. He played for them in the Premiership as well. Before that, he was with Celtic. But he's had a torrid opening here.
Well, he's not the only one. There's a few Leeds players gone missing, basically down to their system. I'm sure Kevin's going to change it soon.
Skoko. Teal. Good ball in field to Kavanagh. Skoko playing some nice stuff now, Wigan. Of course, just as I say that, they go and give it away. Always happens. Baines. Jackson.
Just look at that 50-yard ball straight to Roberts. Shouldn't be allowed to happen.
It was a good ball by him as well, out to Teal. Francis. Roberts. And the whistle's gone for a Wigan free kick. I think the referee was waiting to see if they got any advantage, and they didn't.
Well, if they get another one, it could be like Arsenal last Saturday, a training ground, after the second one goes in, because that's how dominant they are and how comfortable they are in possession.
Here's Jackson. Good ball for Johansson. Francis. Now Teal. All the possession, all the inventive football coming from the away team at the moment. Miller. Lots of room down the right for Kelly. Not too many options for him, though. Walton. Hulse did well. Can he finish?
Well, you just know this lad, if he's given a lot more of the ball in better places, he can cause all sorts of problems. He's got strength, he's got ability, he's also got a decent shot on him, but this one's never going to trouble John Filan. He can just watch it go over.
Hulse, of course, got the late equaliser for Leeds at the JJB. It was the first FA Cup goal in his career. Butler's clearance. Healy couldn't control it. Away by De Zale. Kelly. Kelly goes long, looking for Hulse. Healy. Miller's in support. And back to Healy.
Well, he had to take it quickly, David Healy. Once again, it's not a shot, it's not a cross. It's one of those in-between things. But slightly better from Leeds. Got Miller pushing forward from midfield, which helps the cause a little bit more.
Butler's header finds Hulse. Walton. Lewis. Miller chasing into the corner with Jackson. He's given it away to Craney. Douglas. Here's Gary Kelly. Healy pointed to where he wanted the ball. Between them, they've done well in the end. Walton thought he was going to win a free kick off Skoko, but Graham Potter said play on. Now Leeds get a free kick, but it's on the halfway line.
Well, the crowd's starting to get behind them and taking a few more chances. Miller seems to be the one who's taking it upon himself to get alongside Hulse at every opportunity.
Kilgallen's free kick. Come back out to Walton. Craney. Skoko with the early ball for Jason Roberts. Good covering by Kilgallen. Promising young player. England under-21 international Kilgallen. And the big centre-half has stayed forward. Not now. On his way back as Walton picks out Craney. Lewis the target down the left. Great control by him as Douglas goes spinning and wins the free kick.
Well, the crowd are trying to give him a bit of belief. So slightly mistimed by Damien Francis.
Well, Leeds haven't created too much from open players yet, so they better make the most of these set pieces. Hulse being very closely marked, trying to get away from his man. It's gone over his head and over Kilgallen's as well.
Disappointing, because as you said, not created too many problems from open play, so when you get a free kick, you've certainly got to put the opposition under pressure, but overhit from Gary Kelly.
And the Leeds United striker David Healy will be our player cam between now and half-time. Good header away by Butler. Hulse controlled it beautifully and wins the free kick for his side. Healy wants to take it quickly. Well, he was lucky there that the referees brought him back because the ball was moving, because he made a mess of the quickly taken free kick. Hulse, Kilgallen and the skipper Paul Butler all forward here for Leeds. Craney. Kilgallen has got back and spreads the play towards Healy. That's gone out.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Liam Miller's playing more or less alongside Hulse at times now. This fella David Healy would love to be the one to do it rather than Miller, who is a midfield player. Maybe Kevin's waiting for half-time to do that change, but at the moment leaving Healy on the right.
Arjan Dezeu, the Wigan player, injured. And with all the injuries they've got at the moment, that'll cause a moment of concern on their bench. They have a couple of untried youngsters on the bench. In fact, they've got a reserve goalkeeper, Jimmy Bullard, on the right of the picture, who shouldn't really be there because he's injured. And those two youngsters, Luke Joyce and Kevin Lee.
It'll take a lot to take Dezeu off this pitch tonight, because that's the type of character that he is.
He knows what I want.
This looks like he's twisted his ankle. He's going to take his boot off and get a strapping on.
Let's put this.
Flicked on by Roberts. Kilgallen. And now Craney for Leeds United. Lewis in space on the left. Craney. Kilgallen. Francis has gone in to cover the gap left by Dezeu, who's still receiving treatment.
There's obviously a strapping on there to begin with, and it's obviously a little bit weak. And he just needs a tighter strapping on it. There's the ankle. He twists it as he lands there. He'll carry on. He'll just make sure that he can't flex that ankle in any way.
I think quite a few of these Wigan players playing despite various knocks and bruises, and of course they didn't really want to play tonight. having only played in the league on Sunday, but Leeds United turned down Wigan's request to have the game move forward 24 hours. Skoko. Not quite the way he intended it, but it turned out to be a decent ball for Teal. Great pace by the Scotsman. He's ghosted past 3 defenders.
Well, he's got the beat in a cranny at every opportunity down there. Teal keeps fishing his leg in there and not coming out with anything.
He's really enjoying himself, Gary Teal. And he's won a corner. Deseo has just come back on for Wigan. And we'll go straight up.
Sorry, Alan, there was never a doubt about that. He'd come back on, but all he needs is that strapping to make sure he can't bend that ankle. Just stay solid now.
Kavanagh with the corner. Deseo has actually been left unmarked. Kilgallen got the ball away, and it was a very good effort from long range. Skoko testing the keeper.
It's a lovely strike, isn't it? I think Sullivan sees it all the way. It may not have even been going in.
Walton. Jackson's header. Lewis finding Craney. Just nothing going right for him at the moment, I'm afraid to say. Kilgallen covering well. And a very good ball for Lewis. This looks promising for Leeds United. It wasn't the worst ball in.
Well, Chimbonda got himself out of position. He gambled to go forward on that first pass. That's allowed Lewis for the first time out on that left-hand side to have space. And you can see he's got the delivery. If he gets enough of the ball, he can produce.
Butler's gone over to the far post with Kilgallen. Has gone over both their heads towards Hulse, and they've got another corner out of it off Jackson.
Just having a word with Hulse there. Eddie Lewis and Hulse have been saying just throw the ball in the box. Never mind the outswingers. Just get it in towards the goal.
Hulse with the header. Corner number 3 in quick succession.
He got himself on the end of it. Eddie Lewis will be aiming for him this time.
Just over 5 minutes and a half remaining. Wigan have been in control for most of it, but it only takes a second for Leeds to get back into it. It's coming in again. Back post, that's knocked off the line in. The Predators' instinct brings Healy another goal.
Well, you've got to give credit to Hulse, because he said to Eddie Lewis after that last corner, just provide the outswinger for me. Eddie Lewis didn't take it this time. He left it to Gary Kelly. It's Hulse against Jackson. Strength and power. Jackson's the wrong side. And when this bounces off the line, off Leighton Baines, who's there? The Predator himself. He loves these chances, loves these opportunities, and Healy just has these for breakfast. And there you are, egg, bacon and 2 sausage. 1 each.
Remarkably, it's his first ever goal in the FA Cup. As you saw, his 9th of the season for Leeds United. What a transformation in the atmosphere now. It's been subdued because the home team have been subdued.
The importance of set plays. The importance of set plays. You say it all the time. You may not be in a game for long, long periods, but if you work enough on the training ground, you get your rewards.
Wigan can justifiably feel aggrieved that the scoreline is now level again. But as I said, it only takes a second or 2 to get a goal, and that's what Leeds United have done. Baines, the man who failed to keep the close-range effort out of the goal. Away by De Zeu. Skoko. Francis chasing, but Kilgallen gets there first. Douglas. Here's Kelly. Wind in their sails now, Leeds United. Just as well for Wigan that De Zeu read that little step over from Rob Hulse. And Kevin Blackwell's team have shown a bit of character here.
Well, goals change games, don't they? From being comfortable and not a problem for Wigan, they find themselves level. Now he'll get the desired effect from his team, or he should get the desired effect from his team.
Loose header from Kilgallen has given Teal possession. Once again he's beaten Craney. Important header away by Kelly, because Skoko was coming in right behind him. Much better tie now. Can Wigan hit back here before half-time? Too many men in the end. And De Zeu's shot inevitably struck the nearest body. Chimbonda turning it forward, away by Kilgallen. Kavanagh tried his luck from long range. Leeds have got a man lying injured. Hulse doing his defensive duties and getting in the way. But Hulse did his job brilliantly at the other end.
Well, he certainly did. He's a poacher. You just watch him the whole time. He starts on the goalkeeper, and then he's just there and thereabouts, just praying and hoping that something can come back to him, because he knows he'll get anything on the end of it if it does. And just look at the way he improvises on this. Just watch the movement of his legs. Johansson's as tight as he possibly can be, but he's always going to tuck that away.
It's actually his first goal in 8 games, David Healy. One thing they do have in abundance here at Elland Road is strikers, because Kevin Blackwell was able to change the front two from their league game at the weekend. Richard Creswell and Robbie Blake played in that game. They're both on the bench tonight. And he also has Ian Moore and Michael Ricketts here. 6 strikers for a championship club, not bad. Obviously taking a leaf out of the book of the man he worked alongside, Neil Warnock, for so long. Who does love a striker. Butler. Flick on by Hulse. Kavanagh did well. Half-time approaching, 1-1. We have to have a winner tonight. Johansson, the Wigan goal scorer. Chimbonda, Teal. Jackson. And Johansson almost getting in again.
Where it was, Paul Butler. Fortunate for it to bounce off his foot.
Two minutes of stoppage time. Foul on Healy. Well, judging by the problems they give Wigan with that little flurry of corners, Leeds' hopes will be high here. Lewis missed it though. Pursued by Chimbonda, who's quick. Douglas plays it in. Butler still forward from the earlier free kick. Healy. That could be interesting. Lewis tried to meet it. It's come out to Miller. Hull screaming for the ball short. Miller had other ideas and knocked away from danger for another corner.
Well, he doesn't know too much about this, Graham Kavanagh. He didn't know anything about it at all. He hammered that, Liam Miller, and hit the legs of Kavanagh.
Terrific end to the half from Leeds United. Skoko clears his lines. Kilgallen happy to concede the throw.
We wonder what's gone wrong. We didn't defend the set play properly, and all of a sudden now we're on the back foot.
Kelly for Leeds United. Well, Hulse couldn't do much more than that. Half-time at Elland Road. The tie is wide open again. Wigan took the lead and in truth took control here. Johansson scoring at the second attempt with the ball came back to him off the post following his own shot in. And at that stage, the Premiership team looked as though they were sailing on to the next round. But Leeds roused, and a little flurry of corners finally brought them their equaliser. Hulse's header kept out of goal initially by Baines, but then turned in by Healy. Anything could happen now in the second half. The interval scoreline here, Leeds United 1, Wigan Athletic 1. Thanks, Ian. Leeds have been knocked out at this third round stage in each of the last two seasons, both times against Premiership opposition in Arsenal and Birmingham. And remarkably, it's 19 years since they last beat a top division team here at Elland Road in an FA Cup tie. A 2-1 win against Queen's Park Rangers in February 1987. Francis with an inadvertent clearance that's kept his team under pressure. Cleared by De Zeu, who still doesn't seem to be running easily on that twisted ankle.
Under normal circumstances he would have come off. He certainly wouldn't have started the game when you saw the strapping he had on to begin with. But it can be done. You just make it so tight that it just stays rigid.
Appeal there for handball against Kavanagh as Johansson breaks clear at the other end for Wigan. And he's done brilliantly here. Sets it up for Teal, who hesitated and tried in vain to set it up himself for Francis.
Well, you just wonder why. He's had the beating of Craney all night, and then he gets in a situation where he's one-on-one with him and he decides to lay it off to somebody else. Infuriating for the manager.
Brady. Douglas. Given away to Jackson, who's had a commendably steady match so far. Johansson. Teal has found room again. Roberts has made his run into the box. And Skoko behind him, deflected for a corner.
Oh, it's a great ball. It really is a good ball. And Jason Roberts not clever enough. Was he offside, Teal, when this ball comes through to him? Oh, look at the assistant. We're looking at that. He's only a yard and a half offside, but Jason Roberts maybe just underneath the ball.
Was coming in to meet it. Kilgallen got there ahead of him though. Cleared by Healy. There's Jackson. Lovely layoff from Johansson, who's had an excellent game. Baines. Johansson's there again. Beaten to it this time by the strong challenge from Butler. Lewis. Checking to see exactly where Jackson was. It's a good ball forward as well. Miller. Oh, great defending.
Well, it looked like Kevin Blackwell has changed the shape now, and Healy is finding himself alongside Hulse.
He's giving a problem to De Zeu again here. Teal. good ball through, or it should have been, but couldn't quite find Teal in the end. Hulse. Miller. Plenty of support down that right-hand side for Leeds here. But when the ball was turned back, the home fans were shouting for a handball. It wasn't good enough, and Wigan win it back with ease. Teal. Plainly getting closer to him now. Jason Roberts, the Wigan Athletic striker, will be the subject of our first player cam in this second half for Sky Digital viewers. Leeds lying third in the Championship at the moment, a long way behind the top two, Reading and Sheffield United. Teal. Here's Kavanagh. Plenty in the box again here for Wigan. Clever turn by Roberts. What a brilliant goal! Magnificent strike by Roberts.
I'll tell you what, it's an absolutely brilliant turn, but Paul Butler's looking at Kelly and Douglas and thinking to them, once he miscontrols the first one, or it doesn't bounce high enough off his feet, why are you not challenging him for the ball? Because once you allow him to turn, this fella has got so much strength and power. Just watch this, there's the first touch. They stand and they watch. Don't give him an opportunity like that, because he'll dig it out from nowhere, and that's exactly what he does. People around him, digs it out. The goalkeeper can't believe that he's dug it out from such a situation. That's where the challenge should be, on that bounce just there then. Nobody can get round, Kelly can't, and it's into that bottom corner.
And Wigan Athletics top scorer gets his 10th goal of the season. He's got a terrific record in this competition. 8 goals in 15 ties now. Most of them scored for a previous club, Bristol Rovers. But that was marksmanship at its finest. And Wigan are back in front. Leeds really only have themselves to blame. Wonderful skill though it was by Roberts, Chris. From Leeds' point of view, it was a preventable goal, wasn't it?
Well, you can't allow that to happen on the edge of your box, because you'll get punished. Paul Butler knew it straight away.
Roberts was also on target when Wigan beat Leeds 3-0 in the league at the JJB last season.
Well, sometimes he's infuriating, because he doesn't take up the right positions, but he does score goals out of nothing.
And that's 6 goals in his last 9 games now. And if you were following him on our player cam, you just got a terrific view of that. He's involved again. Chimbonda, Francis.
Smile. That was speculative, hoping to get it right. Didn't happen.
Well, Wigan have been successful in killing the atmosphere again here. Leeds fans have gone quiet once more. Gates are down this season. They had the highest home crowds in the Championship last season, but the attendances have fallen by around 8,000 per game in this campaign. The Leeds fans will tell you that's because the prices have been hiked so much. Foul by Francis on Miller. He sweeps it out instantly to Kelly. 3 in the box awaiting the cross. Hulse is one of them. Teal. Johansson and Roberts ahead of him.
Well, when he had that opportunity to take him on at the start of the second half and he didn't do it, he obviously had a shout from his manager to take him on.
Well, you get another example then of the pace of Chimbonda as Miller threatened.
had a lot of games, Wigan, but they don't look tired.
Chimbonda there again to block Lewis's cross. Craney for Leeds. It's a good turn, and Hulse tried to play it back when he might have been better having a go himself. Easy for me to say, I know. Kilgallen.
I just looked at the quality control from Healy. Outside of the boot into his strike partner Hulse. Just needs to keep playing more balls into those two, and Leeds could find themselves right back in it once again.
Lewis. Foul by Chimbonda. Lewis is injured. It's Chimbonda's first ever tie in this competition, by the way. He was rested for the original tie at the JJB.
Good refereeing, bit of common sense used, just have a word, don't do any more.
Healy waiting to pounce just as he did for that first half corner. Douglas shot through the crowd of players.
They've not dealt with the set plays very well tonight, Wigan, and that was another example.
Healy heads it on to Hulse. And Lewis got there ahead of Chimbonda. Oh! Against the bar.
What a brilliant strike. He makes this himself. As Pascal Chimbonda doesn't get a shout, Chimbonda. That's the thing. One or two of his teammates are saying, well, you should attack the ball anyway, but he doesn't. He's casual. He's not knowing that Lewis is coming in behind him, and then it just sits up beautifully for him. He hits it fantastic. He's hoping that it comes down earlier than it does, but not early enough. Good anticipation, decent strike, just over.
He did play in the Premiership, Eddie Lewis for Fulham. Teal. We're going to have got a man off the field at the moment. Johansson getting treatment, he's just come back. Their throw. They lead 2-1. Manchester City, the prize for the winners in the fourth round. Kavanagh. Chimbonda. Full Miller. Kavanagh's cross was a good one. Away by Butler. Douglas. Francis for Wigan. Skoko. Now Baines. In towards Roberts, but they've got the shout from the very experienced Neil Sullivan, who's been in the semi-final of this competition twice in his Wimbledon and Tottenham days. Hulse. Oh, nicked off him by Baines. And one for Johansson to chase.
Just not enough threat once again from Leeds. It's all set plays or mistakes from Wigan rather than forcing the issue.
Kavanagh. Francis. Now Douglas. Challenge to win it back in the middle. Francis then caught in possession. Miller. There's Craney. One over the top for Lewis, but he's offside. Leeds United relegated from the Premiership 3 seasons ago now, and the last time they went down from the top division, it took them 8 years to regain their place. As I said earlier, they're a long way behind Reading and Sheffield United, but they're looking a fair bet at the moment to finish in the playoff places. When you consider what a disastrous couple of years the club has gone through, they almost went out of business, and that would be some achievement. Healy has looked a live wire throughout. Kelly. Healy again. Got to be a free kick to Wigan.
It's harder for the front two of Leeds because they've got to try and bring the other people into play rather than the midfield players trying to bring the strikers into play.
John Carver, who used to work alongside Bobby Robson at Newcastle, is now one of the coaching team here at Elland Road. Johansson for Wigan. Good turn again by Roberts. Francis. On to Baines. Johansson. Possible handball, the referees let it go. Kavanagh. Chimbonda. Here's Teal. Forced inside this time. It still finds a way through to Roberts. Certainly the more measured football has been played, as you'd expect, by the Premiership team.
That's the thing, it's a cup tie, you shouldn't allow them to do it.
Craney digs in to win it back and find Hulse. Good control that was. Healy. Miller. That's a lovely ball. Kelly. Zayu chasing to close down the space. And the referee's given a free kick for the challenge on Healy. I must say I've got some sympathy there with De Zayu. I thought the Leeds man ran into him.
Yeah, he can't get out of the way. That's the thing, De Zayu can't get out of the way. This ball doesn't go high enough over, and he can only run straight into him. Some you get those, some you don't.
Dangerous position this for Leeds. Can they draw level again? They've made a habit of doing so over the 2 games of this tie. Hulse couldn't get his head to that. Chimbonda heads out for a corner.
That's a brilliant ball. Pascal Chimbonda may have been guilty of a little bit of poor defending on Eddie Lewis' strike, but not afraid to put his head in.
Has gone to the near post now, making a bit of room behind him. Thrown in towards Butler. De Zayu heading behind. Another corner. This is a similar little spell to the first half when Leeds got their goal.
It'll be interesting to see how Matt Jackson marks Rob Hulse this time. In fact, he's swapping over. Is he swapping over? No, change their mind.
Hulse. Big shout for handball, and the referee agrees.
Yeah, absolutely. Nailed on. Matt Jackson knows exactly what he does because he gets caught underneath the ball once again. Look at him. All his teammates are appealing. He's the only one who's not appealing because this arm goes in the air and it stays in the air. This ball aimed towards Hulse. What's he doing, Matt Jackson?
Another opportunity for Leeds to breathe life back into this cup tie. David Healy has scored 3 out of 3 from the penalty spot this season. Make that 4 out of 4.
Well, it had to be a terrific penalty because the goalkeeper does everything possible that he could do, except he just does not maybe go low enough. John Filan will look at this and think, how did I not get this? I've gone the right way. It's just gone underneath my left arm because of the pace that's on it. Very, very good penalty. Down low. Goalkeeper just can't get down quick enough. And they're back in it once again.
The Northern Irishman on a hat-trick now. And he's drawn level with Elland Road's leading scorer, Rob Hulse.
Well, he probably can't believe the defending at set plays, Paul Jewell, tonight, because his side are normally very, very good.
And for the third time in the tie, if you include the first game, Leeds United have come back to level. Nothing wrong with their resilience, that's for sure. And they are a team used to winning games this season. They've won 15 of their 28 league games. Outside of their own division, only the Premiership leaders Chelsea have won more matches in all 4 divisions.
He's screaming at Matt Jackson, absolutely screaming at him. What have you done? We're comfortable, and you end up doing something like that. Just challenge for a header with the man. They were about to swap over as well, and I'm sure that's what Paul Jewell might have been screaming at. Zayu to Mark Hulse.
Marching on together, their famous Leeds United theme song can be heard for the first time tonight. And that's a good ball, it just struck Lewis on the heel, he's still involved. And suddenly now, Leeds begin to believe they can go on and win this tie.
Well, it's a cup tie now, isn't it?
Here's Hulse again. Held off his man brilliantly. The shot was blocked. He's still in there battling. So was Lewis. Wigan defenders stood there appealing for an offside flag. It never came. There's scrap going on at the other end. And the powerful Roberts almost came out with the ball.
Oh, just look at it now. It's gone up a tempo. Leeds United desperate to win back possession, not allowing Wigan to sit comfortable.
More like a cup tie now, that's for sure. Skoko for Wigan. Roberts. Francis takes over. Came back towards him, and Roberts is in there too. Much better game.
Oh, that's better from Gary Kelly.
The American international, the subject of our next player camp.
I think Lewis, Healy and Hulse have always been the key to this game for Kevin Blackwell tonight, but because they've not had as much possession as they'd like, they find themselves having to come from behind twice, but that all may change now.
It's Blackwell's first job in management, this, after 10 years working alongside Neil Warnock. He would have read quite a few tricks of the trade from him.
Well, he's learned to collect centre forwards. You got Robbie Blake, you got Cresswell. Ian Moore's at the club as well. Ricketts is still at the club. There's the 2 boys, Mr. Cresswell and Robbie Blake.
They've also signed a new player today, by the way, a midfielder this time, Joel Griffiths, an Australian international. Here's Till for Wigan. Chimbonda, dangerous ball that, but in the end Sullivan had time to read it.
Well, you could never question Wigan's character. Are they prepared to sit and fold and lie down and allow Leeds to take this game? Not a lot. Not at all. They want everything. They want the win, they want the victory.
Leeds have only lost twice at home this season, Ipswich and Cardiff, the only teams who've won here in the league. We've got another home game and a big one as well on Saturday. Yorkshire Derby against Sheffield Wednesday. They're expecting about 30,000 people for that. Really like the old days. Kelly. Walton turns it forward, but Hulse is offside. Three-quarters of the way through then, and remember, we have to have a result on the night. Extra time, and if necessary, penalties are penciled in. Foul given against Roberts rather harshly. And I suppose fatigue could be a problem for Wigan, but despite that, they're going to bring on a player who Paul Jewell didn't really want to use tonight, Jimmy Bullard. I don't think he would have even been on the bench had they had more players available.
Paul might have just looked at Skoko and think he hasn't been involved at all in the second half, and Jimmy can give me a little bit more if that is the change. Quiet second half, did okay in the first.
Kept possession then, as did Kavanagh, picking out Teal. Henson played it in behind Chimbonda. Kavanagh didn't have much choice, did he? Oops. Missed kick by Filan. They've got away with it though. Johansson, who's been quieter as well in this second half. The ball over the top for Teal. Kilgallen reacted well.
He's played well tonight, Kilgallen. Get better every time you see him. More experience.
Miller. Given away to Francis. Baines. It's Wigan's throw. Bullard still waits for the call to action. Less than 20 minutes to go. Baines looking for a bit more movement from his teammates. Disappointing. We've got a double bill of live football for you this Sunday on Sky Sports 1. Starting at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea against Charlton at 1. And then that massive fixture at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Liverpool, 3:30. Kavanagh. Here's Johansson. Good turn by the Swede. And again!
Great play. Well, Simon Walton might end up in the book because he played a really good advantage. Graham Poll. Skoko got clumped by him in midfield. He's coming back to say sorry because he dives in. Just watch, there he goes. Catches him right in the ankle. Lovely ball from Kavanagh. He just drops the shoulder. Watch him. Johansson, right foot, left foot, switch it. That's where he gets injured, right on the ankle. If Paul had any thoughts about bringing him off early on, I'm sure that's made his mind up now.
Injury problems mount for Wigan Athletic. Just to remind you, they got Emerson Tom out with a fractured cheekbone, long term. Stefan Onsho, another defender, suspended tonight, having reached 5 cautions. Alan Marn's missing, David Connolly's missing, Ryan Taylor's out for 3 months with a foot injury. They didn't have the biggest squad in the first place. All in all, including the loss of Henri Camara to the African Nations Championship, they've got 10 of their first team squad missing.
Took a different view of it, Graham Poll. Simon Walton off as a clumsy challenge rather than malicious.
Lewis. There's one for Healy to chase. Lovely control. Couldn't quite force it through to Miller. Lewis dives in to win it back. Craney. That's a good ball on to Lewis. Wigan are nothing if not resilient, though. They've shown that time and time again this season. And they certainly won't be fancying extra time, having only played, remember, on Sunday afternoon. Kavanagh.
It's a credit to their fitness, the way they've played again tonight. It does help when you have a lot of the ball.
There's Goko. Johansson to his left. He's offside.
Tonight's official attendance inside Elland Road is 50,243. Thank you very much for your support tonight.
Andreas Johansson, scorer of Wigan Athletics' first goal in the first half. Our next player, Ken. Miller for Leeds United. On to Kelly. Hulse. Pulled off his man well. It was a good cross as well. Kavanagh had to get there. Leeds throw. Into the final quarter of an hour. Butler got the touch on. And another corner.
Well, is Matt Jackson going to mark Rob Hulse this time, or is DeZeo going to take him this time? I'm sure that's what Paul Jewell had said at half-time, and that's why he was screaming at them. There he goes. It's DeZeo taking Hulse. He's the threat. He's my best header. DeZeo, you mark him. He'll be so disappointed that they didn't change on the last corner.
Butler got nearest to it. And some effort from Miller. And then Hulse accidentally kicked Kavanagh in the head, trying to score with an overhead kick.
Well, this deserved a goal because it's absolutely magnificent. Just watch the body shape and the way he controls his strike. It's brilliant. He just steps onto it. That is absolutely textbook. It really is a wonderful strike. He steadies himself, follows right through the ball. That's absolutely beautiful, except that it's a crossbar.
It's twice now Leeds have struck the crossbar in the second half. Lewis and Miller. And finally, Jimmy Bullard will get on. Damien Francis, the man he replaces. Didn't play in the first tie, Bullard. He was rested for that. And less than 100% fit tonight, but he's an effervescent character. He'll make some impact. You can bank on that.
Well, he's got some engine on him. He can go from box to box for more than 90 minutes. He's not got that much time to make an impression tonight.
Hulse took that down beautifully. Leeds looking the stronger now. Craney for them. In towards Hulse again. Seemed to get struck around the head there, Hulse. He stayed down.
Well, there's no messing about this time. DeZeo says, I'm marking you, I'm picking you up, I'm going to make it harder for you. It's never going to be easy for you. That arm comes across, it's not deliberate, it's used for elevation.
10 goals for Leeds this season, Rob Hulse, and that's despite a run of 13 matches without scoring. One of the Crew Academy, of course. Moved on from there to West Brom, and then here to Elland Road. Roberts finding Johansson. Great effort! My word, he hit that first time with venom.
Well, he may not be a central striker on a normal day, but today he certainly looks like one. Johansson reads the flick on brilliantly, and it's a good strike.
Kelly. Hulse. Good layoff. Craney. Back in towards Hulse. Baines took control for Wigan. Douglas. And Bullard has got himself involved straight away to win the ball back. Johansson. Teal wants it back straight away. Johansson has other ideas and picks out Jimmy Bullard. Oh, what a strike from nothing. Not bad.
Well, Jonathan Douglas tripped him over in the first place. Jimmy Bullard. But it didn't stop him getting involved. He picked himself up, put in the strike, bends it round. He's hoping to use the defender as the disguise. That's off target.
Scored in Wigan's 2-0 win here in the league last season. Always plays with a smile on his face. Ten minutes remaining at Elland Road. Leeds United 2, Wigan Athletic 2. Manchester City away in the fourth round is the prize at stake for the winners. Teal. Roberts gets it wrong this time. Chimbonda. Free header for Healy, but he's given it away to Baines. Probably did the right thing then. Kelly. Nice little touch from Healy now. Hulse. And again. Healy wanted it back straight away.
Both two have been excellent, Hulse and Healy tonight. When you look at the bench and you see Blake and Cresswell, it must be a big decision for the manager if he even considered taking one of those two off.
Certainly have come back well, Leeds, from last season when they finished 14th in the Championship. It was actually their lowest league position for over 40 years. And remember, they were champions of England 14 years ago, just before the Premiership was formed. And only 6 years ago, they finished third, behind Manchester United and Arsenal. So much has changed here since. Bullard. And again. Chimbonda wins it back. Bullard. Teal. He's got the pace to trouble Craney again and win the corner.
Well, he certainly played better in this second half, Stephen Craney, than he did in the first. Teal certainly had his measure in the first 45 minutes, but he's competed.
Zayo beaten to it by his teammate Chimbonda.
Well, the boot's on the other foot this time. It's Rob Hulse who doesn't pick up Chimbonda and gives him a free header.
We're getting to that stage of the game now where you would think that another goal would surely be the winner. Little wrestling match there, and it goes against Rob Hulse.
He's just used his experience, Deseo, to pick up Hulse now at every opportunity and basically kidding him out of a lot of situations.
Bullard wins it back. Kavanagh. Teal for Wigan. Bullard. Roberts. Chimbonda playing like an extra attacking player at the moment.
Well, there's no doubt Paul Jewell wants this decided in the 90. For his team, that is. We'll be saying go for it. Let's take chances. We've got 5 minutes on the clock plus extra time.
And really, you have to say, whatever happens, not just tonight but for the rest of the season, if the campaign was over tomorrow, he would surely be a contender for manager of the season. Wigan, everyone's favourites to go straight back down. I don't think they're going to do that. They could reach the Carling Cup final. They're still in the FA Cup.
Liam Miller just got a bit of cramp. We could see a change now. Einarson's getting ready down on the touchline.
Icelandic international waiting to come on for Leeds United. Kilgallen did well there and he was being fouled by Roberts. And that's the signal for Gylfi Einarsson, who hasn't played much of late. He dislocated his shoulder back in November. He replaces the Manchester United player who's on loan here, Liam Miller. It's his first ever FA Cup tie, by the way. Awkward header from Jackson, but there was a foul there by Healy. Roberts, great header on. Turned forward by Teal Johansson. Just wouldn't sit down quickly enough for him, but he's kept possession. Bullard. Now Chimbonda. That's disappointing. Impressive. Finally, when Douglas played the ball forward, everyone else stopped. Another substitution for Leeds.
Second substitution for regional replacement number 11, Eddie Lewis.
Had a good game, struck the crossbar. Eddie Lewis replaced by Richard Creswell. A summer signing from Preston North End, where he was top goal scorer last season with 21 goals. And another man who's played in the Premiership. He operated there for Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday. In fact, he was managed by Paul Jewell, who actually sold him.
Well, he can play up front or out wide. Richie Creswell gives you everything when he plays, and Eddie Lewis is probably a little bit unlucky because he's not played too bad, but as I said earlier on, the front two, Hulse and Healy, have been very, very good. He couldn't even consider taking them off within the 90.
Takes penalties, by the way, Creswell, so he might be useful if it comes to that. Blake is another penalty taker, and we've already seen how good Healy is from the spot. You never know, might just be an advantage that Leeds have. Into the last minute. Don't know about penalties, but extra time is certainly looming. Maybe Leeds have other ideas. Kelly finally gets his cross in, away by Teal. Bullard inadvertently plays it back towards his own box. He's got away with that. Gallant is what you would call a no-nonsense defender.
He's certainly improving all the time. Really is. Looks as comfortable as I've seen him since he's started playing for Leeds.
Well, there's only stoppage time now separating Wigan Athletic from an extra half an hour of football they didn't want. They didn't want to be playing here tonight full stop. They would certainly have preferred 24 hours extra rest and preparation for this game.
Well, he'll be happy with the extra time. He might get another set play in that time. As you quite rightly said, Paul trying to conserve what energy is left in his side. Certainly doesn't want any more.
We're going to away to Middlesbrough in the Premiership on Saturday, and then that big date a week tonight, second leg, Carling Cup semi-final against Arsenal. You can see that, of course, live on Sky. Foul there by Aymarsson. Knows it's important to get the delivery right here. Zaya won the header well. Leeds deal with the threat.
Jonathan Douglas is pulling the harm of Johansson there.
Baines finds himself well forward. And that's a corner. Could this be the moment that Wigan do away with the need for that extra half an hour they don't want? Chimbonda got up well. Dezeu involved in that group of players as well. Leeds have closed the door for the moment. Jackson, Teal, Chimbonda, too close to the goalkeeper. And still time, of course, for Leeds to ensure that we don't get overtime.
I would have thought that Sullivan would have just got that in his hands and got rid of it straight away, with the clock ticking away.
Healy, Butler, Creswell. First time he's had the ball anywhere near him since he came on. Gallen accidentally struck there, I think, in the head. Maybe it wasn't an accident the way he's pointing to Roberts. Well, he doesn't think it was anyway. Argument continues.
Jason Roberts is saying, what's all that about, trying to get me a booking?
Remarkably, we haven't had a yellow card, have we, in the entire match?
Oh, he's done well, the referee tonight.
Bolton. Always forced wide, but he's also forced the throw. Not long to go now. Caswell near post. We will have half an hour's extra time here at Elland Road. Nothing separates these two sides again. 2 goals from Healy have kept Leeds United in the picture, when twice they fell behind. Leeds United 2, Wigan Athletic 2 after 90 minutes.
So here in the studio, our guest Danny Mills and his side Manchester City still await their opponents in round 4. They will find out tonight. Wigan have yet more football to play. What on earth does the manager say to those tired limbs? And what does Leeds United's manager say? Does he think about penalties? It could go to penalties, of course. And for the record, Leeds United have never had a penalty shootout in the FA Cup. Extra time is next.
Well, Mr. Paul has noted down the necessary details. The only thing missing, of course, on his report sheet is the name of the winners. Will it be Leeds United, this famous old club who've enjoyed so much success down the years, or Wigan Athletic, the upstarts from the other side of the Pennines, who go to the city of Manchester Stadium in the 4th round to meet Stuart Pearce's Manchester City? Chris, you've been in the manager's role in this situation, trying to get that extra ounce out of your tired men. What do you say to lift them?
Well, as far as Wigan are concerned, Paul Jewell would just say, go for it, won't it? Let's just finish it. Well, let's not try and wait for penalties. There's no point in doing that. Well, you're not sure what Kevin Blackwell's thinking. It's that shape that they've had, which has stood them in good stead. They haven't really dominated Wigan at any stage throughout the game. Is he going to take a chance in extra time, or is he going to wait for the penalties? We shall see.
Johansson, his opening goal seems an awful long time ago now. Certainly all gone against the script as far as Wigan are concerned. They didn't want a replay. They didn't want it on Tuesday night. They most certainly didn't want extra time. But they don't want to go out either. Ball was moving there when Bullard took the free kick. Baines will try again. Gallen got it clear. Bullard gives it away. Hulse, he does that so well, doesn't he, with his back to goal, holding it up like that, and he's created room for Creswell and others here. Healy's in support, Hulse is still there.
It's a poor touch. Poor second touch. First one's good because it takes him into a great position. It's the second touch, he's not even looking for Hulse. Hulse makes great strides to get alongside him, and he's just hoping that he tucks his back towards him.
Well, it might be as much a mental thing as a physical thing now for these Wigan players. Jackson. Here's Chimbonda. Kavanagh finds some room. On by Johansson to Roberts. He's turned brilliantly again, Roberts. Oh, how well has he done there? Johansson couldn't turn it home, and nor could Skoko.
Well, strength and power. Jason Roberts. Once he feels that centre-half behind him, as he does with Kilgallen, that's the cue for him, just to use his body strength and everything, and he just muscles in between the two of them. Does really well. Look at that. From the byline. Real power. Absolutely magnificent stuff, and then he cuts it back across the goal, hoping there's somebody there to finish it off, but not quite.
Bullard. And again. Didn't do Chimbonda any favours with the return pass. Jackson, Bullard. Here's Kelly for Leeds United. Over Creswell's head. Brady. And now Chimbonda. Just couldn't quite get the touch he was looking for. Nice control from Creswell. Now Teal for Wigan. Look at the pace of the man.
Well, the thing about Kilgallen, he's quick as well. But he's starting to feel the pace.
Offside. Basic stuff, really, isn't it?
I'm sure Teal saying to the assistant, well, I'm looking across the line, I can't be off. Certainly shouldn't be off in that situation, but he is.
Onside, and Holst remaining close to him. And they've sent Paul Butler forward here, as you see. Big strong man, but couldn't reach that. Jackson got there ahead of him, and Kavanagh completes the clearance. Kelly back in. A bit untidy now, but there's some tired legs out there as it goes back in towards Hulse again, and Healy's there once more. Oh, an important interception by Jackson. The players on both sides making mistakes now, understandably. Baines off Kelly for a throw. Bullard. Out to Teal, who seems to have more energy than most out there at the moment.
Creswell is the one for Leeds. He's just come on, he's fresh. It's the player they should be looking to.
Roberts. Held it up brilliantly again and feeds it into Teal.
Does Kilgallen dive on that ball, or does it hit his chest? Not too many appeals, so must have hit his chest. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, definitely off the right arm.
As you say, not a single appeal, not even from Teal himself. Zayu. Chimbonda was behind him, always a threat as well.
Great header from Chimbonda. It was Jason Roberts that stopped it on its way towards goal.
And his layoff. Chimbonda's still forward, he was unmarked momentarily then. Kavanagh. One trick too many this time. Well, David Healy's made a massive contribution to this game for Leeds United. You can follow him in close-up for the next few minutes.
David, come on!
Baines. Now Johansson. Douglas looked up and there was no one really he could pick out, but he's given it away. Kavanagh. 1-2 with Graham Poll. Skoko. Now Bullard. It's good football this from Wigan. Baines. Kavanagh can hit them from here.
Yeah, you're right, he's got a wonderful strike on him, but not in that particular instance. But once again, they're just dropping off into the holes, Leeds, rather than attacking the ball, allowing Wigan to play in front of them.
As so often happens, certainly in the first period of these extra time spells, the game's gone a little flat. But it might liven up now. Johansson beaten to it by Kilgallen, who's hardly put a foot wrong tonight. And the commentator's curse strikes again. He gives it away to Skoko. Creswell. And he's there again. Holds forward, so is Healy. And he'll settle for a corner.
Well, it's the in-swinger this time, so I don't think it'll be aimed out towards Rob Hulse. Should be aimed underneath the crossbar.
All the big guns are forward now for Leeds, but they'll have to wait.
Well, Skoko has gone down injured. With what he doesn't realise is he can't stay on to defend the corner.
It's going to be a change anyway for Wigan. I don't know whether it is Skoko who's coming off permanently, but it's going to be a big moment for the young man about to enter the field. Luke Joyce is only 18, and this is his debut in first-team football. And he will indeed replace Josip Skoko.
Well, that is a way to get round that law that you've got to go off the pitch if you're injured, to put somebody else on.
And a big moment for Luke Joyce, who came through Wigan's youth system. He's only been on the bench once this season, never mind on the field. First thing he has to do is stay down there and help defend the return ball from the corner. And gets his first touch, and a nice one it was too. Feel good about that.
Certainly will, that's impressive.
Teal. Only Johansson forward at the moment for Wigan. Others arriving now, including the newcomer Joyce. Bullard finds some space. Baines screaming for the ball down the left. Bullard doesn't have eyes for him, only eyes for goal.
There's a long way out, Jimmy Bullard. But Leeds are just dropping off, allowing them the space in front of them.
Good header by Jackson. Oof. That was a late challenge, and the referee might reach for the first card of the game. He has. We've had to wait all this time. Simon Walton is cautioned.
He gave Graham Paul no option. Basically, once he gave away possession in midfield, it was like a red rag to a bull. He was on his way, and he wasn't going to stop.
We can get on with it quickly. Jackson feeds it in. Roberts with a header! Is that the goal that will send Wigan Athletic into the fourth round? I wonder.
Well, they've made it look so simple, but it's a beautiful goal. The ball from Kavanagh is just perfect, absolutely perfect. On the head, just played to Kavanagh now. Just watch this. He has a little look up, sees where Roberts is, and then just drops it over Kilgallen's head, right onto the head of him. He's got a bit of work to do from then on, has Roberts, but doesn't he do it beautifully? Down into that bottom corner, firm enough to beat Sullivan. He can't get there at all. 3-2.
His second goal of the game, Wigan's third. Leeds have used the stoppage to bring on Robbie Blake. Goals of the essence for them now, of course. Just 2 minutes of this first period of extra time remaining. Can Leeds come back yet again in this tie? Simon Walton, having just been cautioned, is the player who's gone off to be replaced by Blake.
4 strikers on now. Cresswell, Healy, Holtz. Robbie Blake just come on to join them.
Well, you can only be full of admiration for the way Wigan absolutely refused to lay down and die in these games.
Leeds did it once again, though. We go into the first period of extra time and they just surrendered possession to Wolves, and you get what you deserve sometimes.
Well, we've praised Wigan's resilience, but remember, Leeds United too, they were down in the first game. They've been down now 3 times in this game. And we've still got the second period of extra time and a minute or so of this remaining. Past his bedtime by the looks of things. He can't be bored because it's been eventful. Chimbonda. Played by Kilgallen. A bit more zest about Wigan now as Bullard earns a free kick. Douglas the aggressor. Two players out there on a hat-trick now, of course. David Healy and Jason Roberts. Sloppy play though by Teal has gifted Leeds possession, but they can't do anything with it either. A minute of added time in the first period of extra time. Chimbonda, tired ball by him, not surprisingly. Roberts. Kavanagh. Bullard. Did he keep it in? He did. Kilgallen. Oh, well played, Baines. Kavanagh, a crucial part to play in Wigan's third goal. Teal off on one of those runs again. Oh, Roberts nearly nicking in the end. He accidentally injured Kilgallen as we reach the end of the first period of extra time.
Holds his hands up to apologise. Made an attempt to try and get the ball. Well, what a goal from Jason Roberts. The importance of set plays. Everybody expected Wigan to put this one in the box. They didn't. They played it across the park first, and then they did. And then when it came in, it's really precise. Just look at Kavanagh looking up to see where his striker is. Finds him perfectly, and he finds the perfect finish.
Well, rather cruelly at this stage of extra time, you're supposed to change straight round. The players have only had a slight breather because of that injury. This is how it happened.
Yeah, it is. Jason Roberts just on the left ankle. He comes inside there. Here we go. Jason's not coming to the yet. There he goes.
Tough young lad who did play a handful of games in the Premiership the season that Leeds United were relegated.
Well, they need a spark, Leeds. Cresswell, Blake. Einarsson, can they provide it? 3 subs.
We're a quarter of an hour away from knowing the identity of Manchester City's opponents. Make that a quarter of an hour and 30 seconds because Mr. Poll has decided the kickoff wasn't properly executed. And of course, we could be more than a quarter of an hour away with a penalty shootout. Still a possibility. Craney for Leeds. Dillard's layoff finds Teal. One back by Craney. The ball over the top for Creswell. Chimbonda. Teal. He's enjoyed himself tonight. He's still got the speed and stamina to do that.
There's a few Wigan players who've defied the amount of games that they've had of late. Still running around with plenty of zest.
Here's Kavanagh. Teal again. Kavanagh wants it back. Into Roberts. Good play. Chimbonda. Bullard. Bullard again. Chimbonda. Leeds fans want to see a bit more of a challenge from their players. Craney finally provides it.
You can't blame them for that. 20 passes there. They weren't really going anywhere. Wigan weren't interested in really going anywhere, but I was saying to Leeds, if you're not going to come and take it off us, we'll just pass it around.
Good football. Einarsson finds himself forced towards his own corner, not what he wants to be. Kilgallen helped him out. Jackson wins it back for Wigan. Chimbonda. Roberts given plenty of time on the ball. Now Teal sets it up for Kavanagh to strike it. And it came off a Leeds man. It's a corner.
He's laughing because he knows it wasn't going to go anywhere near the goal anyway, so fortunate to get the corner.
Surprising he hasn't got off the mark yet as a Wigan player. He's been a decent goal scorer throughout his career. Zeu makes his tired way forward. Kavanagh. I can't even say he's getting closer, I'm afraid. He's actually got a good scoring record against Leeds. He scored 3 times in 6 previous appearances against them for other clubs.
He's a wonderful striker of the ball. Played for me when I was manager of Stoke City. A real good character as well.
Teal. Here he is again. Johansson. Clever little step over to make space for Baines.
Well, Leeds can't score if it's in the back row of Row Z. So there's not too many complaints from Paul Jewell or his assistant Chris Hutchins. Better it be there than in our half.
Bullard committed the foul then. He's in a hurry to take the free kick. But no one for Blake to play it to, so he has to trot forward and leave it to Gary Kelly. Butler's gone forward, so has Kilgallen this time. All hands on deck for both teams. And Phelan with a very decisive punch. Johansson. We've got men over here, Wigan, if they can break quickly enough. So couldn't quite get that, but he's still going to battle to win it back. Blake's got fresh legs, though.
You see Robbie Blake in the left-back position. Not very often.
Kelly. Well, the Leeds thought they'd done the difficult bit by holding Wigan Athletic away from home. They know now they were mistaken. Bullard, where's he going? He knew. But given away to Kelly. Four white-shirted Leeds players in the penalty area. Cross, can't find any of them though. Cleared by Baines. 10 minutes to go at Elland Road. Pumped back in by Craney. They've got plenty forward here. Craswell is one of them. Ball wouldn't sit down for him. Douglas. It's waited and waited in vain. But Wigan have conceded a free kick. Foul by Teal, right on the edge of their box.
It's a silly foul. They've got people who can produce. Robbie Blake, wonderful striker of the ball, can bend him into the top corner. Paul Jewell will know that.
Looks like he's going to go for it here, Blake, who scored in the defeat of Brighton at the weekend. Chimbonda gets it away. Teal's giving it away. Craney forward. Butler's there. And actually managed to take it away from his own player, but the danger hasn't gone yet. Was there a handball? Another big shout. As Hulse goes for goal.
Well, it's Leighton Baines who's the player in amongst it. I think maybe the ball got played onto his hand rather than the other way around. Just as it bounces up in the box, just watch Leighton Baines. Couldn't really see it.
I think the appeal was more in hope than expectation. Marston's header away by Chimbonda. Teal, good ball. Oh, well played from Roberts, but the whistle's gone, not quite sure why. Rob Hulse will be our final player camp. Kelly, Butler. Hulse the target for this, Chimbonda all over him. And they've got another free kick, have they? No, the referee's allowed play on this time. Now he's blown the whistle out.
I think he tried to play advantage to begin with. And then he's given that, but gives Robbie Blake another opportunity from a bit further out.
Well, it's almost identical, the angle. Just a yard or two further back. Will he do better this time, Blake? No.
Well, that's terrific. When you have a wall, people who don't turn their backs, they want to stop that ball at all costs. Don't mind if they get hurt. As a manager, that's what you love to see.
Long throw by Craney, but it's gone straight to a Wigan ahead. Marston turns it back in. Oh, that could be tricky. Well, he had to keep his eyes on that all the way, Filan.
Well, that's incredible, isn't it? It really is. Because you just think for 1 minute, is it going to be their night? Are they going to get a draw? Is it going to be penalties? John Filan, not too troubled, but enough to give the corner away, and we know what happens when Leeds give corners away. I've seen it on a couple of occasions already.
Just over 5 minutes of this tie remaining. Here's Kelly, who never scores, does he? He does! Gary Kelly! His first goal for 3 years, would you believe?
Well, I tell you what, this is an unbelievable strike. What an absolute beauty. The first thing when he looked at it, he thought, Robbie Blake, you've got to get this ball past the near post, because you've got all those people in the box trying to get on the ball. But it works to their advantage because it falls to Gary Kelly, and the sweetest strike he has ever hit as a Leeds United player. That's just bounced up perfectly. The contact is terrific, and the way the ball arches away from the goalkeeper gives him no chance. Look at Blackie, absolutely delighted. 3-3.
It's only the 4th time he's ever scored for Leeds United in almost 500 appearances. So his average isn't even 1 in 100. What a strike, what a moment to cap this incredible cup tie. Or has it capped it? We've still got 5 minutes to play. And they've got to start all over again. Wigan. Here come Leeds. Down 4 times in the tie if you include the first match. Looking for a winner now. Some ball that was as well. Baines did well to reach it. Roberts. That's a good ball. Bullard. Teal. Desperate for some help here, but he's got round Craney cleverly. Good ball as well. Kavanagh's there to win it back, but now he's lost out to Douglas. Well, they've got off to a very slow start this tie, but my word, it's been eventful since.
Well, every time they score Leeds, they get a lease of life, a new lease of life. It seems to lift them almost immediately from looking down and out on their feet. They're now just running out of time.
Marching on together, and they are at the moment. Leeds United have come back again. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes away from a penalty decider. Leeds don't want that any more than Wigan. But they've given it away in an important area here. They've got players over this time, Wigan. Leeds furiously backpedaling. Bullard into Roberts. Oh, that was so close to his hat-trick.
Tremendous play. Absolutely terrific play. To be in where we are now at this time of the game, to produce this, it's fantastic. Bullard does brilliant because he waits and he waits and he waits for Roberts to make the run. Eventually Roberts does what he's needed to do, but then he bends that ball into that far corner. Sullivan will tell you he probably had it covered, and it just goes wide.
Well, you wouldn't discount a further dramatic twist in this tie. Kavanagh. Teal. He's got round Craney again. Chimbonda. Bullard swings it in. And that wasn't straightforward either for Sullivan.
Well, we've seen some brilliant goals tonight, but this one caps the lot. And Gary Kelly's strike is just 1 in a million. Look at that. You absolute beauty. The goalkeeper does not and could not get anywhere near it.
I bet he doesn't even do that in training. Foul on Bullard. And with seconds remaining, the Leeds fans are happy with what they've seen, but Wigan know They've got perhaps the one last chance now to win this tie, at least from other than the penalty spot. But they've lost possession, and Healy summons up one more run, and almost a good ball as well. It was well cut out by Bullard. And that's it now, surely. There's going to be a minute, in fact, added. A competition that never disappoints. Chimbonda. Bullard. One final moment of drama to come. I wonder. Teal's cross. Oh, what an important header away that was by Douglas, who was then foul, I think. Referee hasn't given it, though. Baines. Kavanagh. Set it up for Bullard. It's a good block. Now we really have only got seconds to go before a penalty drama. Well, I said before, Leeds United have in their ranks some very experienced and capable penalty takers. Could that be a factor? We're about to find out. Extra time has finished, and the teams are still dead level. Leeds United 3, Wigan Athletic 3. A goal in a lifetime by Gary Kelly keeps Leeds in it. Well, Chris, what drama we've seen here tonight.
It's been tremendous. Just look at the stamina and the work rate that Wigan have put into this game, and the control football. But 3 set plays they've let themselves down on, and every single time Leeds have punished them. Different circumstances, of course, with that last goal, because it's brilliant, but ultimately Paul Jewell will look at that and think that's where it came from, the set play.
Well, it's interesting, there's an interview with Neil Sullivan, the Leeds United goalkeeper, Filand's opposite number in the matchday programme tonight, in which it points out what a very good record he has for saving penalties. Let's see if we can eavesdrop the team talks here.
Basically just look around people who wants to take one. If they put their hands up and they move forward straight away, you take them almost immediately.
Well, they will have planned for it, hoped that it wouldn't happen. Now they know it has. Kevin Blackwell calling his troops together. So we're about to see an incident that never ever fails to create drama, the penalty shootout.
Danny Mills used to play in that same position for Leeds United as Gary Kelly. He knows all about scoring screamers when he doesn't often score, because he did it for Man City earlier this season. What do you think Gary Kelly's thinking at the moment, Danny?
I think obviously Leeds are absolutely delighted. They've come back 3 times now. They've done really fantastically well. They've kept battling. It hasn't been a great game. It's been very scrappy. But, you know, all credit to them, and now obviously it's a little bit of a lottery. It's who can keep the head, really.
How does the selection of kickers work?
Volunteers. Whoever wants to take one will take one. Apart from that, you know, once you get out of the 5, you generally find there's several players that maybe aren't too keen. But obviously you've got to rely on your keeper, Neil Sullivan, very experienced. Hopefully he can stop a few. Well,
Filand's warming up. Does he need to warm up? Do you think what's going through the goalkeeper's mind? And there's his opposite number, Neil Sullivan.
The keepers can't really lose, to be honest, can they? They're expected to let most of them in. If they make a save, they become a hero. So they'll just be trying to guess early, pick a side and hopefully go the right way.
What's your record in these penalty shootouts? Because you've been involved, haven't you, a couple of times?
I had a couple in the Carling Cup. We had 2 at Middlesbrough, took 2, scored 2. Basically, as a player, I think you just don't change your mind. I think that's the worst thing you can do, is go up, change your mind the last minute, and then that's when it seems to go horribly wrong.
Well, it's been an amazing game. Wigan have been ahead, I suppose you could say, 4 times in this tie, because they went ahead in the first one, of course, and they went ahead 3 times tonight. That was in the 13th minute of extra time when Roberts did it, and here it is. 4 goals in 493 career appearances. That's one, I make it, every 123 games. That's not a bad record, is it?
He's almost as prolific as me. The Leeds right-backs aren't great goal scorers, but no, it's a fantastic goal, and it deserves to get them into penalties.
Wigan obviously didn't want it to go to extra time because they're supposedly more tired than Leeds, and yet they really gave it a go, and they were still going at the end.
I think it shows it's a measure of what Paul Jewell's done there. They kept going to the very end, they worked very, very hard, and like he said beforehand, they're tired, but they want to win this game.
Well, the toss has been made between the two captains, and Paul Jewell must be thinking, how much longer will this season be going on? How much more drama can Wigan have this season?
It's been a fantastic season so far. Obviously now it's a case of wait and see. I don't know who's taking first penalty, but if you go first and score, it's obviously an advantage. So we shall have to wait and see.
Don't forget, after this penalty shootout and the conclusion of this tie, we will see all the goals from all the other ties, and there have been some spectacular results around the country. Remember Nuneaton and Tamworth flying the non-league flag tonight. Let's find out what happens in the shootout. 3-3 after extra time. These two sides just can't be separated. It's Leeds against Wigan. And here's Chris Kamara and Alan Parry.
Graham Poll has a word with the two goalkeepers. Interestingly, of course, Kevin Blackwell was a goalkeeper himself in his own playing days. Not too many of them have made managers down the years, so he will have been able to offer a word or two of advice, no doubt, to his number one, Neil Sullivan, who is, of course, a very experienced keeper.
We saw Martin Hodge, the Leeds goalkeeping coach, talking to Sullivan, and Gary Walsh, the goalkeeping coach for Wigan, talking to John Filan. They'll be telling them which way the strikers put their penalties, but it's all down to the goalkeeper. It's not just about knowing where he's put the last kick, it's watching the body shape, how they approach the ball, all those type of things taken into consideration.
David Healy has already scored once from the spot. Not this time, though.
Well, he wanted to hit that ball as hard as he possibly could, and he got underneath it. It's early, that's the only thing in his favour. Very, very early. Wigan have got to take 5 more. If you're going to miss one, make sure it's one of the early ones.
Jimmy Bullard with the chance to give Wigan Athletic an early advantage in the shootout, which he takes.
Well, that's confidence personified. That really is. And he knows it. He knows it. Absolute delight. Look at that. He fell for it, the keeper. Don't watch the eyes.
Can Creswell restore some advantage here to Leeds United? He can.
A terrific penalty. Goalkeeper went the right way, so it had to be good. Just as he did with David Healy's penalty in normal time. He went the right way, John Filan, but because of the pace on it, couldn't save it.
It's Teal this time for Wigan. He's had a good game, Gary Teal, and he continues that with a good penalty kick.
Brilliant. Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Can't do any more than that. Put it away. Didn't look that confident to begin with, but the finish was confident.
Robbie Blake, who scored from the penalty spot in Leeds' 2-1 defeat at Brighton at the weekend. Wigan 2-1 up at the moment. Confidently struck home.
He's got good technique, Robbie Blake. Keeps his eye on the goalkeepers until the very, very last moment.
Well, the game he's had, you'd be very surprised if Jason Roberts missed. But the pressure can sometimes get to even the best.
Well, is he a blaster? He's got loads of power in them feet.
It's 3 out of 3 for Wigan.
Well, it's the alley shuffle, isn't it? Just to watch the goalkeeper. Might look as if I'm going to go to the right-hand side, but check it to the left.
(3-2). Wigan lead. Rob Hulse with the next vital penalty kick for Leeds United. Oh dear! Again, like Healy before him, he went for power and it went wrong.
They just put absolutely everything behind this ball and lifts it and gets underneath it, and they know that was their chance. That was it. That was our only hope, to put them under any real pressure. They cannot believe it. How many penalties have we taken this season in training? And we've never done that before, but the circumstances are different.
Kavanagh has the responsibility of giving Wigan Athletic a tremendous advantage now. Which he has. 100% record from the spot, and that's enough.
That's a great penalty once again. You can't do any more than put him in the corners. When the goalkeeper goes the right way, you stick him away. I don't think anybody will begrudge Wigan tonight. They certainly deserved it overall. But you've got to admire Leeds, they kept coming back.
Well, Leeds will feel gutted, of course. So often this tie seemed to be going away from them. So often they found the resilience and the spirit to come back. But in the end, they have been beaten from the penalty shootout. Those misses from Healy and Hulse proved crucial. And here's the penalty that sent Wigan Athletic into that fourth-round tie against Manchester City.
That was an absolute beauty, wasn't it? It really is. And where's them Wigan fans? Yes, they're over there, and look at the despair and the disappointment. Oh no, there's always next year.
Well, it was a good night too for Jason Roberts. Two excellent goals over the 90 minutes and extra time, and a successful penalty kick as well. Jimmy Bullard scored that vital first penalty after Healy had missed from the spot for Leeds United. And Wigan have gone through this marathon and come out the other side with a victory.
Jason Roberts has scored 2 goals and he's also scored a penalty, and Wigan have beaten Leeds on penalties after 3-3 in extra time. He's the man of the match. His captain Arian Dazou is alongside him. They're both with Jeff Shreeves.
Well, I know, and Jason, they just would not lie down, would they?
No, they keep coming back, and credit to them, to be fair. They scored some great goals, and they made it a real battle for us.
How were you hanging on at the end? Was it pure adrenaline?
Yeah, definitely. We were a little bit tired out there, but we kept going and we showed a lot of spirit, I think.
You took your goals well. The first one, were you surprised how much space you had in the box?
No, I'd like to put it down to a bit of skill, actually, but no. I made some space and managed to put it in, so we're happy with that.
Are you claiming a hat-trick tonight?
I hope so. I don't know how that works, but if I could, I'll take it, definitely.
Oh, you can coming here, much was made of Leeds being favourites. I mean, it was a potential banana skin for you, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely was. We struggled a little bit squad-wise, and they're a good side. They've been playing very well lately in the Championship. So we knew we were up for a battle, but I think we showed, we had a lot of character in the team, and a couple of lucky goals from Jace.
You're a bit unkind there. I was going to say, what does it give you in terms of coming through a game like that?
Oh, it gives us a great bonus. I mean, we knew we didn't have the best of games lately, and to come through a game like this, away from home, with a very, very small squad, a couple of young boys coming on late on, and take a lot of pride out of it.
Jason, you must like this competition. You all seem to score in the FA Cup.
Yeah, I like scoring in any games, but I do seem to score in the FA Cup, so hopefully that bodes well for the next round.
We know the league is your bread and butter, but what does the FA Cup mean to you and the club?
Every game we want to win, and we're used to win at this club, so we want to win every game.
Well, you did your job tonight, and you're the FA Partners Man of the Match. Are you? Do the honours.
With pleasure. Well done, Jace.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you.
Well done, boys. Cheers.